move on. So we gotta move on relatively quickly, I guess.
Yep.
So I'm gonna talk about my team, the Celtics. We didn't do too much, but it's my team, so I still gotta talk about them. So started out with the Kemba trade. I don't know if we really talked about. It's been a while. It was kind of a while ago when it happened. We traded away Kemba Walker, a first round pick, for Al Horford and Moses Brown. And the first round pick was essentially just to get the contract off of the Celtics' hands. Uh, so we got Al Horford and Moses Brown with that. So depth of the center position. Tristan Thompson's going to be going to the Kings probably. So that's how you create space for these extra centers. And we're getting, I think we're getting Chris Dunn in that trade that we're probably going to be sending away Tristan Thompson. And we're going to end up with, we get Dennis Schroder for 5.9 million a year, which is probably the big, if anything. I mean, the Celtics haven't done really anything this free agency, but I think that's a big storyline as far as free agent signings are concerned for the Celtics. So this sucks. I mean, we can laugh about it just because we're looking at this not as, if we humanize these players, it sucks. Like, it just sucks for Dennis Schroder in a situation he put himself in that, like,
Sure.
he could have had 20 million per year, 21 million per year. He could have had 84 million because NBA contracts are, fully guaranteed, or they're guaranteed contracts. He was bought out, he'd still get a huge chunk of that 84 million if they were trying to cut him. Meanwhile, because he believed that, oh, I'm going to be the starting point guard on a championship team, I'm going to get 30 million a year. They're going to see me as the distributor to AD and LeBron, and I'm going to be that guy. And AD and LeBron got hurt, and they're like, can you get us to a decent level to where,
not even close.
Yeah. I mean, you can talk about it more too. I mean, if you want to rant about Schroeder, go ahead. But so he definitely at that, even at the 21 million price range, like per year, I think that was very rich for him. And the fact that he held out for 30 is kind of absurd. 30 million per year with 120 million might be a little ridiculous. But it sucks because he's definitely worth more than 5.9 million, but it helps the Celtics for sure. But I think he's definitely worth more than 5.9 million. And I think if this is going to be the starting point guard, I'm not too sure. I mean, again, it's nice that it's not too much of a salary, but hopefully this is, you can find a way to, maybe Marcus Smart becomes the point guard and then he just becomes the backup point guard. I think that would be a better role for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
But because he's a great six man, I think he's one of the best six men, but he's just not a good starter as we've seen. But what was it going? It just sucks that he's going through this, but take that aside, taking the human aspect aside, this is just funny. It's just like, if you're just to tell someone who doesn't really know much about it, it's like, okay, this guy could have had $21 million per year, but he held out for 30 million per year. And you're like, wait, is he like, how good is this player? And you're like,
Right.
he's okay. Like he's a good 6-man point guard. He's not the best. He hasn't really shown as a starting role. He hasn't been a starting point guard really on any team. What is it? But he's on a really good team, so he gets some money. It's like, well, is he like, so he's not LeBron James level, he's not KD level, he's not like one of these stars that's like, I can hold out because I know I can get more money. It's like, no. He turned down 20 million per year. It's like, you tell anybody that, you're like, why would you turn down 20 million per year?
Right.
Just to get 10 million more when you can end up losing so much of that to get a 1 year $5.9 million contract. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, this is going to raise Schroeder's going to have a chance to maybe prove himself and he might get a bigger contract the year after, but I'm not sure. Like, if last year, I don't know how much better he can get on the Celtics. Maybe Udoka is going to find, maybe Beal's coaching from this, from the box office, and then Udoka's, whatever happens. I don't know how are you going to coach Schroder up to a level to where he's back at that 21 million level that he was going to ask for. I don't even know if he's going to. I mean, if there's a reason he fell down to 6 million this offseason, right? That no one was really wanting him, right? Um, I don't know if next year it's gonna go extremely back up again unless the Celtics do really well. But like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of cynical about this team. We haven't done too much. It feels like this offseason is a setup for next year's offseason. I don't know how well this team is gonna be. We're probably gonna be in a similar situation, maybe better, just because Brown might develop even further. And I think just having Tatum and Brown alone with how prolific scorer Tatum has become, maybe that gets you somewhere. But still, I just don't see how this is necessarily good for Schroeder, even if you think this is going to this is a prove it deal for next year, because like how much better can he actually get? And how much better can he get from what he did with the Lakers? And if he can't get better, then I mean his market value has to stay at 6 million, right?
Oh, I think, and I'll be honest here. Schroeder, the only reason why he signed this contract was because if he didn't sign this contract with the Boston Celtics, he literally would have been very close to being unemployed from the NBA. Like he literally did not have another contract available to be signed by another team. The Celtics were like one of the last teams to offer him any kind like. Well, the Celtics were like one of the few teams that actually offered him a team, but one of the last ones that even have enough cap space available to sign Dennis Schroeder. You said it perfectly. I won't say too much more, but the guy failed us in the stretch run when you come to the team, dismiss the idea of becoming the sixth man and say that I want to start as the starting point guard of a championship team, and then can't do anything when some of our players are injured in terms of just like even treading water at least, and that didn't happen. And then in the playoffs, showing up with a 0-point backcourt game 5 against Phoenix Suns. I hold you accountable, and that's why every single Lakers fan and Laker former or present did not want him back. Like you saw, it's rare that all these Lakers players, like these past ones, like Shaq, Robert Horry, and all of them just like kept on absolutely like blasting Dennis Schroeder, and they did, and you could see there's something wrong. Like even Magic Johnson, the guy who's so nice, he was blasting Dennis Schroeder and say that like we don't want him back. Like you've never seen that stuff before. So the guy quote unquote bet on himself when the Lakers gave him 84 for 4 years, turned that down, and now he's stuck in I don't know, could be greener pastures, literally green on the Celtics, but not exactly greener pastures with $5.9 million over 1 year. He better at least do a little bit better, because if he can't, as the other guys say, he could be dropping 75 points in a game in China. I mean, he's not going to be playing the NBA anymore if this is going to continue.
But I think 5 point. I mean, I'm not maybe as low because I haven't had that emotional experience of having to root for him. I guess I will have to now, but I think he's worth more than 5.9 million. But if the market doesn't think he's worth more than 5.9 million, then like that's kind of a problem for Dennis Schroeder himself. Like just to get him in his
major problem. Yes,
but as a Celtics fan, and I think I think this is a great team friendly deal for the Celtics, just because like you might as well take a gamble on, you're thinking about this ridiculous Kemba contract. And I mean, Kemba, let's not get it wrong here. Kemba's a better player when healthy than Dennis Schroeder, for sure. But I think with how much you have to deal with Kemba's injuries, how the rehabbing wasn't going according to schedule, he was kind of going against team doctors, all that going on. I think this is for 5.9 million. I think this is a solid option.
Sure.
I'd say so. I like it from that perspective. But again, I'm only talking about Celtics just because my team we didn't do too much at all. Just wait till next year. I think this is just great. We're cap room. This is more of a. I think Franklin might mention this, but this is more of Brad Stevens is taking like a seasoned GM approach to this and not doing anything big and splashy and just trying to just navigate salary cap stuff. It feels like this is just so that he can be like Danny Ainge 2.0. It feels like not do too much
So good so
right now
far.
and then
Yep.
just leverage everything for trades and back and forth with trades. Maybe that'll be what his legacy will be as a GM. Um,
Yep.